I was there for 45 minutes. I gave a pitch. I got attacked immediately. It became a very, very weird situation. All press is not always good press, and it's been something we've been fighting back ever since.
I messaged a bunch of the viewers that we have and said, we're going to be meeting you. And I said, well, what's the one thing you'd want to know? And they said, well, why is he such an asshole?
Because of Shark Tank.
Finish. You're a get the out of here.
That's not fair.
I'm kidding. No one actually asked that. But why are you an asshole? Let's make sure they know.
I don't think I'm an asshole. I actually think I'm very, very nice. Oh my God, I'm like freaking.
It's actually an interesting thing. I think a lot of people that don't know you might have seen you on that before, and they're going to see this and go like, wait a minute, I've seen that guy and I don't know why I don't like him. And like you got painted in a pretty negative light on there.
So the product is called Pavlok. We use vibration beep and electric shock to help people change their habits. If you associate a negative stimulus with a bad habit for enough days in a row, it creates a aversion. Kind of like if you get really drunk on tequila and then never want to drink tequila again. I was there for 45 minutes. I gave a pitch. I got attacked immediately. And it was a very weird kind of attack. It was one that I couldn't defend because it wasn't rational. I'd found 21 studies that had been shown that our product had efficacy, that the science behind our product, aversion therapy, had efficacy. And I showed some of the studies to the sharks. We built a product that was consumer friendly. And I went to pitch it, and immediately I get attacked by Mark Cuban. And he says, like, you're trying to claim other people's studies as your own. You can never ever cite other people's studies. You have to do your own clinical trial first. That's not true. That's not how science works. Science is based on using other people's studies in the future. And so it became a very, very weird situation. They were into the product, if you watch their faces, before I get attacked. And so what happened, though, was that the show, they cut it. They put me as the season finale of last season. They wanted it to be as dramatic as possible. They zoomed in on my facial expressions in really weird ways. When I turned down Mr. Wonderful, I did it very politely. And then he yells at me, F you, you a-hole, F you. And they made me look bad, which was kind of unfair.
When that aired, how did you feel?
Immediately, I remember immediately after I was with my team, we had a big viewing party, and I was like, that was great. I got offered a deal, I turned him down, and then he cursed me out. Clearly, I should not be taking a deal with this person. And also, I got an offer, and I turned it down. So I didn't come across as like somebody who didn't get an offer. It led to like a really, really big shift to the company. Like our score on Amazon dropped from 4.8 to 2.9. Jeez. Our sales like tanked. All press is not always good press. And it's been something we've been fighting back ever since. So fortunately, we have a great product. We have thousands of users who've used it to quit smoking, nail biting, unhealthy eating, sleeping in. If I could go back in time, I think I would have pitched the product not as a bad habit breaking tool, but as a reducing cravings tool.
Just to be clear too, like why did you turn down the offer?
The reason why is because Mr. Wonderful is on TV saying that 3.5 billion people living in poverty, living on $1 a day is a good thing. He's like, it makes them strive to work harder. And I'm like, I don't want someone like that working in my company. I'd rather have a poor marriage than a poor investor, because you can at least get out of a marriage. You cannot get out of a poor investor relationship. And in this case, someone like Mr. Wonderful, who's well known for being a rude person, followed by what he did after I declined, it was clear to me I wouldn't want that person on my board.
People turned him down before. I've never seen a response like that.
Yeah. And what's even crazier is that after the show finished, I was in the dressing room, and they make you sit, every person has to sit with a psychologist right after. And
really?
Yeah, every single person.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, and a person walks in and they're like, hey, one of the sharks wants to get the Pavlok. It was Mr. Wonderful. He wanted to take a unit home.
I think Mark Cuban probably should have apologized to you.
Yeah, instead, have you seen any of the links I posted? He was on Access Hollywood or Young Hollywood and on NPR. He's like, yeah, these scam artists, he's calling me by name, our company by name, 18 months after we filmed. He's like, these scam artists like Pavlok, like oh, you should use a rubber band. I will nail your ass against a wall. And I'm not saying anything, but all I can say is this: Dallas is our #2 best-selling city in the world right now. So please keep making fun of me, Mr. Cuban, because we sell really well there.
And Damon wasn't there.
Yeah, so that's really unfortunate.
Which is part of, yeah.
Yeah, he used Pavlok, and he got over 2 serious bad habits. Yeah. And because of that, they couldn't have him on the show with me. And it was like the worst, because he literally uses the product. It was at my brother's Forefront event, and he just came up to me and he just grabbed me, and he's like, you saved me. I was like, wow, I don't know how to respond to this. Like,
what did you learn from that? Like, what did you take out of that experience?
I learned I'm not very good at pitching to groups. Like, I'm really good one-on-one. I think that my product is that kind of product that if you're in a group of people, it's easier to laugh and agree with the crowd than it is to go against the grain. One thing that really hurt from that though was, and after the show aired, we're getting these, like, started getting death threats. I started getting the 39 1-star reviews was just the beginning. That was the first hour. And like the death threats were pretty serious. Like people got my phone number. It was like really bad.
Those are things that most founders don't have to deal with, so
Yeah.
good for you.
There's this Ashton Kutcher video I watch like every day, and he talks about Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1. And he says like the foundation of great companies often starts where the founders have like some idea that there's a fundamental intuition in the sector that's wrong. Once the founder unveils that intuition to be wrong, there's like a completely empty pasture of green grass where they can build into this green grass themselves. Many of the greatest companies of all time, the early days of those companies, they seem to be like a bad idea because you wouldn't think people would do that. I feel like our company's in that space, and so I hope that we're right.
Thanks for watching. If you appreciate what you saw, please do subscribe. That means a lot to us. Thanks so much.